I thought it was wet before. Now I'm wet.
Huh?
Now I'm way wet. You like?
Yeah.
Oh, the one from 80. You have to go. There's another one from 80 to here. And here it's 10. Yeah. There's one close that I'm way here. Yeah, the closest. Yeah, there's like one like, I'm like, you were at the first one. That's it. Yeah. That's the Angry Company and the Running Guard that's close. So that shit. Oh, that's across the street? Good. Yeah, the one across. I don't know where you go. From yeah, that was close. And then she now she has to go to the one that's pizza hut. Because that's on the other side of the street. Yes, you're very cool. There's one right there. She has to go that one.
What time is it? Good, 6 o'clock. Hey guys, how you doing? We're back at it today. Going to work on some short offense, front headlocks series, some offense and some defense from there. So I'm going to let Tyler warm up a little bit longer, and then we'll get right into it.
You ready?
Yeah. Okay, so like I said, today we're going to work on front head position, also called short offense. Why is it called short offense? I can't really tell you why. It's what I've heard for a while. My initial thought would be because of the amount of distance needed to cover to score from that position, which is short. Hence the name short offense. That's what I'm going to assume. So first, what does this position look like? When we get into this position, we're looking at controlling his chin, okay, with one arm, controlling his elbow with the other arm, and then my shoulder is going to go two different places depending on where your comfort is. One is going to be right in the middle of his neck. The other one may be inside this joint that we all have right here called your AC joint. We want our shoulder to go either into that joint or right in the middle. So what it looks like is I'm here at my shoulder. I'm looking at the arm that I want to go ahead and attack, and I'm pulling nice and tight. My elbows are coming in. Okay, what does it look like from the other side? I control his chin. I'm controlling his chin with this hand. My elbow wants to stay high. I got my shoulder into his AC joint on the back of his neck, and then I'm prepared to score from here. It's a position that we get into, pretty often. If we're not taking clean shots and finishing, then we're going to most likely end up in this position. Or when somebody shoots on us, we want to go ahead and down block into that front head position. Today we're going to go over maybe about three or four basic offenses or attacks from there, and then how do we clear out of that position when we get into one. Okay, so the first thing I want to show is how do we get into that position. We have somebody who's going to shoot, and I need to make sure in my stance whenever somebody changes level, so Tyler's not going to shoot at the moment, but he's going to change his level, and this is going to kind of prepare us a little bit to be able to hit this front head. So every time Tyler changes levels, my hands come down. Okay, wherever his head is, my head has to follow. So whether it's a shot or a fake, doesn't matter to me. If I see his head come down, then my hands are coming down at the same time. I don't care if he shoots or not. Okay, I don't want to make a mistake and pick that one chance where he changes level and I think he's not going to shoot and then he comes and blasts me down. Okay, so what we're going to do right now is I'm going to just move around a little bit. I'm going to level change, and Tyler's just going to drop his hands a little bit. So this is what it'll look like. We're going to show it, and then if you have a partner at home, you can go ahead and do it with that partner. If not, I'll show what we could do individually if you're home alone and you have some space to be able to do this at home. So we're just going to move around a little bit. Okay, in our motion, I'm going to change level. Tyler put his hands down. Okay, move, level changes. Okay, and every time my head comes down, his head has to come down. Both of his hands come down the mat. Okay, not just one. I'm not a big fan of down blocking where I'm kicking this leg all the way back. Okay, when you kick your leg all the way back, you put a lot of weight on that front leg, and if a guy goes and misdirects and hits some type of misdirect single leg shot or whatever, then there's just so much weight, you're not going to be able to pull that leg back. Okay, so if Tyler was doing this on his own, and I'm going to have him do this on his own right now, he'll just do some sense of motion, go, and then his hands will come down every couple of steps. His hands come down, his butt drops, his head comes down, and then he's ready to go. Okay, I'm going to have him do this maybe about 4 or 5 times to about 30 seconds each, okay? If there's any questions, I don't see a spot where questions are, but again, comment on it, and we can answer these questions after the session or later on. Add your email if you want me to email you guys back for any questions. So 30 seconds. Okay, go. Good. So this is a pretty good drill to do, even in your warm-ups. I'm a big fan of being able to put both hands down. You never know what side your opponent's coming in on. You never know if he's trying to be tricky and fake one side, come to the other. So I'm really big on trying to get those two hands down. And you could do this for time, maybe 30 seconds, go 5 goes. That's only a couple minutes. This shouldn't take too long. And other things that we could do to be able to go. Ready? Go. Hands come down. He circles out of it, depending on what side his opponent is faking to or shooting to. And time. Good. 3 more. I wish I could see if there were some questions here, but I wouldn't know how to bring them up. I'm going to have to play with the question part later. Later on, what is this here? Nope, not that.
Maybe ready? Put your stream on there.
I'll try. Ready? And go.
You see Charles the volunteer to show the echo.
$20 seconds. $10 seconds. Time. 2 more. They can't comment. They can't comment. Because it has it says
it's off.
If all for content made for kids. All right, I don't have to change that. All right, what's that? 2 more? 1 more? Ready? Go. Yeah, sorry, for some reason we can't comment. We can't have you guys comment on it because the video is scheduled to be made for kids, so commenting is turned off for some reason. I'm gonna have to change that for next time. Ten seconds. And time. 1 more. Ready? Go. So pay attention to Tyler's stance. He's constantly legs bent, elbows in, head up, moving his feet. All these things are pretty important when we're doing any type of things in stance and motion. We want to make sure that we're doing things perfectly and over-exaggerate the technique that you're doing. If you never 10 seconds. If you never get to do something perfectly, if you over-exaggerate it in a match, then you'll come pretty close to it, and then be able to execute the things that you want. Time. Okay. So that's a pretty good drill that you could do. Something really good to do, just to get into the habit of bringing your hands down. We watch a lot of high-level wrestling here, World Championship, Olympic type wrestling. And one thing that we notice with all these international wrestlers is it becomes a little bit less important how you move around and how you actually stand in your stance. But if you actually watch them, their hands drop as quickly as they can whenever somebody comes to attack. So if you can drop your hands and avoid sprawling down to your knees, then your counters and defense is pretty good. If you're constantly sprawling and somebody's in on your legs, and coach says this all the time, then we need to work on your defense. There's no reason why you should have somebody touch your legs every single time they shoot. We should be able to drop our hands down, put our head in the way, kind of circle out a bit, and then go from there. Okay, so how are we going to get into this front head? Our opponent's going to shoot whatever kind of shot he wants to take, and I'm going to use the same idea of bringing my hands down to the mat, right? So now he's going to shoot, run into my arms, and then I'm going to go ahead and quickly get to his head and control it. So he takes a shot, my hands come down, my legs come back, okay, I control his chin. My next step is going to be to move him, and then be able to go ahead and get to an angle here. Okay, that'll be our first attack. Now again, he's going to take the shot. I'm going to go ahead and bring my hands down. My hands come down. I control him as fast as I can. My elbows are in. When I pull for this attack, I don't bury my head in a hole on this one. I'm kind of pulling him. As I pull him, I'm pulling myself around and keeping my head up. So what I want to do is as I pull on him, I want to slide my knee to the outside here. And then I'm able to go ahead and attack that leg, pull his head as we go, and then score from there. Okay? Again, we'll have Tyler do this a couple of times. He's going to take the shot. I'm going to go ahead and get my hands down. My leg come back at the same time. I go ahead and control him here. As I pull, I'm going to slide my knee to the outside of his arm so he can't reach up and grab it. And then I'm attacking ankle, near ankle, far ankle, thighs, and then getting behind. At the same time, I want to make sure that I bring his head in for that attack. Okay? I'm going to have Tyler do that maybe about 5 or 10 times. And then we'll go. Okay?
In front of the arm lock.
Again, one real important detail is when this opponent shoots on me, okay, I don't want to down block outside his arm. Right now my arm is outside his arm. I want this arm to be inside. Right? If he was grabbing my leg, he didn't have his fingertips on my leg, and I just down block inside and get my hand down, that arm's going to come off. Okay, and then I'm able to go ahead and attack on that side. So it also becomes pretty important as this guy shoots to get your hands inside, right? Not over. I don't want my hand to be here and then sprawl. I want to be able to get my hand, how I describe it is I want my arm in between my body and his body, okay? So he comes in, I hit him with that shoulder, I go ahead and pull myself around, get to that leg. I can go break him down double leg, or I can just go ahead, crush, and then get on top from here. Okay, so I'm going to have Tyler do that a couple of times. So we'll go 3, 4 more. No. I felt like a finger in my mouth. I think I did. Okay, one more. Watch his hands come down. Now, if you have a partner and you're doing this, partner, make sure you're taking a really good shot. You're not just coming down here and going, we're reaching for this guy. Right? I'm stuck on double legs right now, and I just want to challenge him a little bit by taking a real shot. He has to drop his hands, cut that corner, attack ankles, and there you go. Okay?
Make sure they block with their shoulder, not like the arm.
Very important. when we do block, we gotta drop everything, right? That's why we get both of our hands down, so that our whole body, our shoulder, our arms can come down. And Tyler's gonna meet my shoulder with his shoulder. So as I change level, he's changing levels. As I come in, he's hitting me with his shoulder. Okay, and then from here, very quickly, he's gonna adjust to that short offense. He's gonna pull, carry himself around, and then go ahead and score. Score from there. Okay.
If you guys don't block with that shoulder, your arm's not going to be strong enough to keep him away. He's just going to shoot right through it.
Yeah, so that's a good point. Mr. Vasquez here wants to point out to you guys. So that's your normal, regular, snap and spin from that short offense. One of the other things that we could do is get into a chuck. Some people call it chuck by. Some people call it throw by or shuck. I do it a little bit differently than how it's normally, I guess, taught. Anyway, so off this front head. So once I've gotten him and he takes a shot, and I'm in this position, right, with my leg back, I'm holding here tight. I always want to go and attack here. One of the biggest mistakes I think that's made on this shuck by is that as we're spinning, wrestlers plant their feet and they completely stop trying to chase this leg. And then once they'll maybe take a couple steps. So what will happen is, as you can go down. Guys will start here, they'll want to chase his leg, and they start telling their opponent by how they're moving that they want to shuck by, right? And then their feet will plant. This guy's holding onto your elbow. Go ahead, elbow. And then you shuck him by, and then he's just going to go ahead and stand up, okay? If that's happened to any of you, which I'm sure it happens to a lot, the reason why is because you plant your feet, okay? And you're not making this guy move at all. So my technique to this slide by or shuck by, whatever you want to call it, is once I blocked him, I want to go ahead and chase that leg. I'll take a couple steps to that. He followed me, and then now what happens is my feet, I start moving my feet backwards to be able to get on top. So I don't necessarily throw him by. I show him one way, and then I quickly change direction and start backpedaling to be able to get on top. So what it looks like, really slowly, control that elbow. He shoots, I get here, I start circling, and then I start backpedaling to be able to get on top. Okay, again. He takes a shot, I down block, I start chasing, and then my motion takes me back. Okay? I definitely don't want to plant my feet and just throw this guy, because if he's holding onto your elbow pretty tight, he's just going to hold on to it and then stand up right into it. And then that throw by or shuck by really meant nothing at that point. So one more time, and then I'll have Tyler do it. I'll show it a couple more times. He takes a shot, I down block. I start chasing his leg, and then my feet start backpedaling until I can get all the way on top. Okay, I'm not throwing him by. What I'm doing is, as I come in here and I move, my arm comes up like I'm bowling. My arm comes up, and then I can come around on the waist. Okay, I'll show it a little bit quicker. He takes a shot. Okay. Again, he takes a shot. I want to make sure I can chase, and then my body moves all the way to the side. Okay, one more time. He takes a shot. I down block. I chase. Come back around. Okay, slowly. All of this has to do with feet movement, body movement. I never want to stop wrestling and give him a chance to kind of clamp down and score on me. Right, so he comes in, I down block, I'm chasing that leg, Chase that leg, and then start walking backwards till we can get on top. Okay, you got that?
Yeah.
Make sure you backpedal. Okay, I'll have Tyler do this a couple more times. Tyler's trying to throw his own spin on it, literally.
Let me do this. I do a different track. That's why. I go like that.
From there? Or you get there?
I'll snap him.
Okay.
Shove
Yeah.
him that way.
We made me think about that for another day. Do this a couple more times. So, again, what we want to make sure happens is this guy's going to be controlling. He wants his elbow. He's in good position. And once Tyler chases his leg, it's natural reaction that this guy's going to move. And then you start backpedaling. Body to body, hip to hip. And then we go ahead and cover. Okay? This is a pretty effective way, I feel, to execute this for the sole reason that if he's controlling this elbow and I start turning this way, right? See that? He can't hold my arm here, right? There's nothing stopping him or stopping me from being able to raise my arm up. Okay, that's why there's no need to try to throw this guy by, right? The way an opponent grips your elbow in this position allows me to just be able to raise my arm up, and I can go ahead and cover it.
Actually, from the first move that we did, make sure they keep the elbow up high to not get.
Yeah. So again, very important when we control this front head, have your elbow as high as you can, right? Have him reach for it. There are other things we could do next step if he goes and pulls his elbow down. Okay, but for now, I want to keep my elbow high, my shoulder in that AC joint, and then I want to make sure I start backpedaling. Okay, I'm not throwing him. I'm going one direction, and then I backpedal, and I get my arm up, right, like I'm bowling, and then I go ahead and cover. Okay, one more time. He takes the shot. Yep. I block here. I go ahead and chase. Arm goes up, and I can go ahead and cover. The way I like to teach it is whenever I'm in front, and maybe this is a way that you guys can pick it up or learn, is whenever I'm in front, okay, I want my hip to get to his hip. Okay, that's how it's going to work. So if he had both knees down, if I wanted to do this or practice it, just a motion, I'll keep my chest on him, hip to hip, go. Okay, my chest is on him, hip to hip, go. Right, so notice that I don't have to throw him. My momentum is going to get me to be able to come around again. The steps are important though. I'm coming from here, I backpedal. I want this far hip, my right hip right now, to be close to his hip. Right, so I move, I get my hip, and what I can do with this is go ahead and drive, and get him all the way down as I execute, that technique. Okay, that's a shut by. I haven't really come up with a name of how I do it, but it's really not a shut. You're not throwing your opponent's head. It's more about body positioning and movement, how I want to move. I move one way, I make him think I want that way. I'm going to go hip to hip the opposite way, make sure my arm comes up so that I can go ahead and finish my takedown. Okay? The other thing that we could do, or other form of offense that we can use here, comes if this guy really traps your elbow. Okay? So if I can't get my far elbow high and he grabs it and he starts pulling it in, and he starts pulling it in, then my arm gets caught deep. And then we get caught here in this situation, giving up a whole lot of stalemates and just wasted time. A whole lot of wasted time there. Okay, so where's my battery? Okay, I might have to charge this. So I forgot what I was saying. Oh, elbow. It becomes important when we get into these situations to try to keep your arms as free as possible. And sticking this deep, and I know a lot of guys like to come up for this pancake. There's other things we could do from here, but there are a lot of things that he could do from here. Right? Things like that, like a slide dunk from there. So as much as possible, we want to try to avoid getting our arms just caught in real deep here. Okay? If it does happen, you know, you're fighting his elbow high, and he ends up pulling it, okay? Go ahead and use his momentum of dropping your shoulder, pulling your elbow, to go ahead and get to this leg, okay? My palm is going on his knee, outside of his knee, okay? This arm is going to go ahead and pull, and then I'm going to circle around to get him to his back. Go ahead and finish from there. So good old knee tap. One of our guys I know who won, I think he won 3 state titles. Pretty sure he did. A couple Fargo titles. Nicky Ramo from Hanover Park, he's at Arizona State now, was awesome. Awesome at using that knee tap. And he would kind of bait guys into it, like dropping the shoulder a little bit. But if you watch a lot of his matches, he used them pretty good. Again, so we're in this position. I have controlling his chin, okay? I'm fighting my elbow high so that he can't control it. Once he pulls my elbow down, I'm going to allow him to pull it and get to this knee tap. At the same time, I'm pulling his elbow to my chest. Okay, I'm not pulling it in, I'm not pulling it out. I pull it straight to my chest, tap, and now again, my feet work. I've got to circle backwards. End up in this pin position. Okay, one more time. The other thing I want to do, if I had to say it, is if he's on his base this way, okay, if he's on his base, it might be a little bit too far for me to get. So I might want to go ahead and put his butt down. Go ahead and knock him down, pull on his elbow, knee tap, and then come up with his underhook so we can go ahead and get to those back hooks. Okay? Let's try that. I'm going to have Tyler do that a couple times. So notice as soon as he's getting to this front head, he's just really trying to knock me back to my butt and then go ahead to that knee tap. Really get a good pull on that shoulder. Make it uncomfortable. Pick your shoulder up forward. Don't pick it out to the side. Don't pull it down to the middle. Pull it straight to your body. And as this guy comes back, go ahead and tap that knee. We'll go 2 more times. Okay, so that's your basic knee tap from that position. There's 3 different attacks we have from there. You have your regular smash or pull, slide by, and go ahead and spin to that leg, back leg, ankles, far ankles, near leg. Make sure that you're chasing something as you spin. You don't want to chip spin and chase the body because tricky guys will just kind of wiggle out of it. And then they can end up scoring on you. So what that looks like is if I don't go ahead and chase Tyler's legs and I get real greedy here and go like this, he just can kind of back out of it, wiggle out, and end up getting on top of me. So
To even spin, just spin all the way through.
yeah, if you're going to spin, just spin. But very important to go ahead and attack his legs. Near ankle, far ankle, thigh pry. Pull the back of his hamstrings in, just to make it difficult for him to follow you in that front head. Okay. Again, those are 3 basic attacks that we have from there. There are a million other things that we could do. I like to watch what happens a lot of the time in this. We'll go one more. Okay, this is a real situation that may happen. And then later I'll go over a couple of things that we could do. So one thing that'll happen, higher level wrestlers, when they take these shots, they'll come in, and if they get stuck, they're going to want to circle the way back up. Okay, they're normally not going to stand on their knees. So what it looks like is Tyler's not going to hit anything, but I'm going to take the shot and just move a little bit. I'll take the shot, he blocks it, right? And now this guy's just moving. He's just moving to be able to defend so he doesn't stay on his knees. Okay, one thing Tyler could do is he can go ahead and chase that leg, force me to move, and then just change direction on me. Okay, so this is what it looks like. I take the shot, he blocks, he starts moving, and I'm controlling, and he's just going to go ahead and change direction on me and come back other side and attack. Okay, how you finish from that side really depends on you. There's a bunch of different ways we could finish. One important thing I think is invaluable in teaching this technique here is understanding what we're doing with that head. So think about, I'm controlling his head like a running back. I have his head, running back. When I decide to want to change sides, I'm switching my arms. I'm switching my arms here. Okay, and then I move his head side to side as I go ahead and attack whatever it is I want to attack. Right now he's on my left. If I want to attack the other side, then I'll go ahead and close it, keep my elbow high, and want to attack the other side. So learning how to kind of maneuver that head across your chest every so often and still staying tight is a pretty important skill, I think, that we all need to pick up. Okay, so just a little bit quicker, and then I'll have Tyler run off about 4 or 5 of them. I take the shot. Again, I'm being a good partner. I'm controlling his elbow. I'm trying to circle my way back up to my feet so I don't get stuck on my knees. He's going to be a little bit smarter and quicker, a little more crafty, and just come back. But make sure you're circling really hard towards that arm side, and then go ahead and change direction. So I take the shot. As a good wrestler, I want to circle back up. He can change sides. All right. Chase my leg. He can switch that to a single leg. He can go to a cradle. He can go single leg to a double if he wanted to. There's just different things. The key is, again, to attack those legs. You want to be able to get to something. Just in case he does start to scramble a little bit, you have control of the leg. Okay? So that'll look like, we'll have him do it, maybe finish it a couple different ways, depending on him, how he wants to finish. That was the cradle. That's your single to a double. That's your regular sweep single finish. And those are just 3 basic ways to finish. Each of them, he's attacking a leg to making sure we can secure something. Tyler will do this maybe about 3 or 4 more times. Good old David Taylor, backward cradle roll. Keep single finish. That's your double leg. Single to a double leg. Finish from there. Okay. That's 4 offenses we have from there. We probably have, I don't know, 2 or 3 more from there. Before we get into our counters a little bit, one thing I think is important when we get into this position is kind of being aware of where my opponent's feet are, right? Especially on this tripod. And now when he tripods, maneuvering his head or manipulating his head across my chest, either direction, becomes extremely important, right? So what I kind of do as he's wrestling from here is I kind of move. If he starts shifting his body, then I want to go ahead and move my body. All the time I'm looking for his ankles, right? Maybe he doesn't tripod too well. He may tripod and his feet are a little bit too far back, right? Pull your feet back. This makes it easy for me to pull him down, okay? If his feet are too close, move over a little bit. If his feet are too close, then it makes it real easy for me to go ahead and start attacking ankles. And now I can push him back and finish that shot. The other thing that we could do from there, if for some reason we get into this position and Tyler decides to want to stand up, right? And I follow him up with this front head. Okay, I'll go cross pick from here. What happens is I have him pull to get that leg stepping. Okay, my body has to kind of shift a little bit. I move, go in, cross pick, lock up my cradle, and finish from there. Okay, I'll do that this way. I got him up to my feet. I kind of pull his foot in, change level. My head's in his armpit. I want to reach deep. I don't want to automatically reach for his knees. I want to go past his leg. So as he falls, I can go ahead and now I have my cradle. I got an elbow deep on this side, and we'll be able to finish from there.
The one that's on the chin stays there, and the one that's over the arm goes.
Yeah, there's a couple different ways that we do this. I'm not going to give up all our secrets, but our football is done a little bit differently. Then a different type of control. We're not going to get into it, but it's very similar to this cross knee pick that I just showed. Again, in this offensive front head, offensive meaning I'm the guy that's controlling. We're always looking at the arm we're grabbing. My elbows are in. I'm crushing everything in here. Okay, I'm not just out nice and wide. I'm not giving up my arms nice and deep in here. I'm squeezing. I got my shoulder in his AC joint or his shoulder joint or right in the back of his neck. I have this arm. The other things we can do are go ahead and pull. Okay? I'm not a big fan of Again, this is just a preference. I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm not a huge fan of head in the hole, but it does work for some people. Okay, so hold on. Before I die, I'm gonna move this back. Here. Good. My battery was about to die. Anyway, so again, it becomes important how we're controlling. I don't like that light. Why is it? We're so bright over here. Let's move that way. Let's move this way. That's better. Yeah, so we have to really be careful how we're controlling these front heads. We don't want our elbow too high, right? We don't want our elbow too high where we're going to allow our opponent to slide in and get there. I know a lot of us have a bad habit of purposely doing that, right? Purposely pulling this guy in for a purpose of going for this chin whip. Again, chin whip for me is I don't know, it's a shot in the dark. I don't really think anybody should ever get chin whipped if you're in the right positions. And you should never really, and I know kids that do it, allow somebody just to get in on your legs to do something crazy. Does it work? It works. It's not something that I would personally show as an attack. But again, off momentum, something by element of surprise, it could definitely work. Okay. Defense. We're countering. Okay, counters from here are pretty basic. Number one thing that has to happen when we get down here. Number one thing that has to happen when we get down here, if you have your head controlled, is to control his elbow. Okay, you want to make this guy as uncomfortable as you can. Okay, don't pull his elbow in because you're going to be susceptible to knee taps. Okay, what you want to do is you take his elbow and pull his elbow to your chest. Right, that kind of loosens up this front head, and it's going to make it a lot bit easier for him to be able to come back to his feet. So the whole idea of this counter is for him to control my elbow, pull it to his chest. He's going to circle back up to his feet and end up in a 2-on-1 like we worked the other day. By the way, I got some word that last week when we did our 2-on-1s, a lot of people couldn't see below our waist. So I might throw up a couple different technique videos about that 2-on-1, that Russian 2-on-1, just to separate each of the moves, so that you guys can see it a little bit better. Anyway, we're in his front head. He goes and controls my elbow. He's pulling his elbow to his chest, and then he's going to circle towards that elbow. Circle, circle, circle. He's going to end up in a 2-on-1 here, where if you watched the class the other day, we have, I don't know, we probably went over 5 or 6 different things that we could do there. Okay, a single leg is right there. We'll go over maybe an ankle pick, and then a fireman from there also as we're coming up. Okay, so again, I'm gonna just have Tyler be real basic right now. He's gonna come up to his feet, get to a 2-on-1, and then he's gonna go snatch single from there. Okay. Here, he circles up, he pulls, he's up, he gets to his 2-on-1. This leg is here, go straight snatch single. He's gonna go ahead and finish however it is. You guys have been taught to finish. So I'm gonna have Tyler do this a couple times.
You saw it coming.
Huh? Yeah, I did. You held my leg up too long.
Yeah. While you were talking. Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna have Tyler do this from a shot. This is how we should normally practice it. get into a shot, feel that guy down block, immediately get to that elbow and start attacking that side. Okay? He takes the shot, it's down block, he's circling back up, right into that single leg. Okay? You're good. Closer so we can see. What would it do with the way that then he takes the shot. Let's go. He's moving. 2-on-1. Straight to that single leg. Okay. 3 more times. Okay. Maybe give a pull down. Step back.
Yeah.
Because you're already coming up.
I push up.
Yeah. You're already coming up, so it's only just coming back down. Yeah. So that time, he kind of snapped me down pretty hard. Got my hands to the mat and was able to just go and hit that 3 single or kind of a little snatch low single.
Tell them that, like, if I'll tell them. So some people are gonna have the elbows high up. So sometimes you can't get a good grip on that to pull it down. So you might have to reach across with your opposite hand and pull that down and then get a better grip on that.
Okay. Again, just to show what it is we want to do from down here. He controls my head. Okay. I want to take his elbow and now make it part of my body. I pull it. Okay. That kind of releases it. It makes room for my head to move. The important thing I didn't say also, on our way up, I need to move my head and rotate it across his chest. My head right now is on his right side. I need to move my head all the way to the other side. Okay? My head's on this side. This side. My head's on the opposite side. I gotta move my head all the way across his body so that I can go ahead and I'm gonna be clear once I get up to my feet. Okay, so very simple. If my head's on his one side, I gotta move my head. Okay, rotate. My left ear is on his body. I want my right ear on his body. And then I'm circling towards that side that he's controlling. Okay? That's just your basic control the elbow, pull it. Make sure we're rotating our head across his chest. Circling back up and then getting to a single leg finish off that 2-on-1. Again, if you watched our class last week, Thursday, we went over about 4 or 5 different finishes from there. So we can get into some chain wrestling, circling up, get into that 2-on-1, and then start working one of those attacks from that 2-on-1. Okay. The other thing that we could do, another counter, if we can't find a way to get back up to our feet, if we can't find, if we can't find a way to get all the way back to our feet, right? Maybe our opponent goes and I'm circling and he gets back to his feet. Okay. Right now I have ankle pistol here, where I can attack low. I'm still controlling his elbow, and then I go ahead and push him back as I go ahead and step in. Okay. Again, my head is up. Just because I'm in that front head position doesn't mean I have to look at the net. I need to get my eyes up to see where his body is, where his legs are. There are opportunities here where we can go ahead and attack him. Okay, so keep your eyes open. Keep your head up, keep your eyes up all the time when you're wrestling, because you may miss a lot of things that you're able to do if you're not paying attention. Okay, it's a tough position to be in, especially on bottom. What I want to do again is I want to circle my way back up. I'm timing his step as I circle, and then I'm gonna drop back down for that ankle pick, okay? He's here, he's controlling me. I want to circle. I see that foot. I go ahead and immediately drop down, okay? As I'm pulling this arm down. And right now what I want to do is I want to slide my whole body in. I'll push him back, slide my whole body in, take his one leg off of that table, and I'm able to finish from there. Okay, so it's me circling, I get to my feet, change level again, attack that far leg as I'm pulling this elbow down. Okay, I'll have time to do this a couple times. We're here, he's gonna take the shot, he circles back up, he's gonna change level. Go ahead, ankle pick from here. Okay. Ooh.
Stretch.
Huh? Oh, I've stretched about 1 million times today.
You haven't done anything today. You stretch over there during the private.
Well, that's my time to stretch because we have a partner.
Yeah, but you stretch for an hour and then you don't do anything. You go back home.
Yeah. That's because after you, I had 2 singles, so I had to move, and I needed to get back and get my sleep.
Who this? You don't have school that time?
Well, not everybody.
Oh, I wonder some people do
Not everybody's like live video.
They did work out and the other thing is like at the end of the day.
Couple more times. One more time. Okay. So there's your ankle pick. Off of that, trying to come back up to your feet. I'll probably, again, in a later video or a series of videos, try to break all these things down in their own individual technique, so that you guys can see it a little bit better, and don't have to go forward and rewind so much. So that's your second way that we can counter. Not even counter, but what else we have off of trying to get back to our feet. You can't stay on the mat. Okay, that's number one. You can't stay on the mat. The longer you stay on those knees, the more trouble you're going to get into. Okay, you shouldn't be under there thinking, let me just hold down for a stalemate. No, attack your opponent. Okay, attack your opponent from that position. For me, every single position that you're in, whether it's you're in on a leg, your opponent's in on your leg, you're in a front head, you have a front head, any offensive or what we want or what anybody would call defensive position, those are just opportunities for you to be able to score points. Okay, you should never think to yourself that that you're on defense. Defense is probably a word that all wrestlers should take out of their vocabulary and think about counter and attacking. Okay, stopping something and attack. We're not defending anything. Okay, if a person grabs your leg and you get that leg out, you get no points for that. Okay, so there's no plus in you defending something. Okay, guy attacks your leg, use the fact that he's attacked your leg, counter it by stopping the shot first, and then let's look for ways to go ahead and reattack from those opportunities. Okay, so we came up, basic elbow, get into a 2-on-1 to an attack. We have an ankle pick from here. If you're unable to just wiggle your head out, again, keep your eyes open so that you can see where his feet are, your opponent's feet are, and then be able to attack from there. The last one is pretty simple. He's going to continue to circle way back to his feet. I'm going to kind of overcommit a little bit He's going to kind of bait me by hanging his head, and then he's going to smack a fireman from there. So slowly, what it looks like is he's controlling my elbow. He starts circling up to his feet, right? I overcommit on the circle, and I leave myself all open down here to be able to give up this fireman. Okay. Again, we're in his front head. He takes a shot, I stop, and he circles back up, circling back up. I overcommit. He gets to this fireman. Okay, I'm gonna have time to do that about 5 times. Okay, so again, those are 3 basic counters off of our opponent's offensive short offense that we can go through in order to get out of these front heads. Again, I'm not going to get into too many different ones. These are really basic. They're efficient. They're going to get you out of this front head and kind of get your feet moving a little bit. And these are just a couple of ideas that we could use. Again, every wrestler should take defense out of the vocabulary. To me, there's no such thing as defense. Use what your opponents are giving you to score points, whether that's you in on a shot or your opponent's in on your leg. Use those opportunities. It's an opportunity for me. I don't ever see an opportunity in a wrestling match where I can't score points, right? You're always on offense. You're always thinking, how can I attack? How can I attack? Well, you may not be able to attack, but you can counter somebody and then attack again. It's never defense. It's never defense. So get those words or get that one word out of your vocabulary. There's nothing to defend. There's nothing to defend. My leg doesn't have a gold medal. Okay, so if he grabs my leg and I get it out, I don't get to defend my gold medal. I defended it. I didn't defend anything. I just got lucky that I could get out of that leg attack. But I also, if I don't re-attack him after that, I give my opponent a chance to come and attack me again. Okay, so that's what defense is. Defense means you stop something, but you still give your opponent a chance to go ahead and score again. Okay, I don't want that. I want to counter what my opponent has and then use what he just did to me to attack him. Counter and attack after. Hence the word counter-attack in wrestling. Okay. What are some other things we could do from down there? There is, and I'll just go over one more thing, a sucker drag. I don't see it used very much lately in the past couple of years that I've been, watching wrestling, but it's called a sucker drag for a reason, because you look like a sucker if somebody hits it on you. Okay, and the reason why you look like a sucker is because you reach all the way under here and grab his arm and lock your hands like this. Okay, this leaves him open to be able to reach up with the opposite arm, right? Normally he'd have me with this arm, right, near arm. Right now he's going to reach up with his opposite arm and control it. And as he does that, he's going to slide his body all the way around, short drag, and then go ahead and get behind me. Okay? Again, I'll do it on this side. Sucker drag. For suckers who do this, do not reach all the way under his armpit and lock your hands here. Okay, he's going to reach up, he's going to move his body, he's going to drag you by, and then you're going to look like a sucker falling on your face, looking like you've never wrestled before. Okay, so that lock can be used reaching under here can be used a little bit better in freestyle to be able to lock shoulders in and maybe go for rolls or head pinches or things like that. But definitely in folk style, you don't want to reach all the way under and do that. The other thing that he could do is go ahead and kind of fake sucker drag, reach up for my lat and pull me back, right? So if I get here and he gets there and I kind of post because I don't want to go, right? There's no weight or there's no post behind me, and he can just step up and pull me back from here on my lat and then end up on my back. Okay, so that's two different things that you can do incorrectly in that front head, or one thing that's going to lead to two different counters for you if you reach under and grab that arm. So do yourself a favor. Do not, whenever you're in this front head, and I know it's a natural thing, it happens a lot because they think that this guy's not going to do anything from here. And normally little kids won't because they don't really know sucker drag. But higher level kids, as soon as they feel this arm go deep, okay, they're going to start reaching up, and then they're going to go ahead, sucker drag, and it's gonna look like just an easy takedown from there. So that's our lesson today in short offense, front head, offensive maneuvers, and counter-attacking from that position. Again, if there are any questions, by all means, I'm going to post this up on YouTube. I'll post it on our Facebook page also. Take a look at it. And if you have any questions about it, email us, text us, call us, whatever. Our email is scorpionswrestling@gmail.com. Again, that's scorpionswrestling@gmail.com. And ask away. Feel free, and we'll be more than happy to help out or assist in any way we can. All right. Have a good night, guys. Stay safe. And see you guys possibly on Thursday. I'm not sure what we're going to do Thursday, but we'll talk about it.
So this is not live, you're recording this.
End it?
It's live.
Oh, it's live.
It's live on YouTube.
Should I end it?
Yeah.